In this video, we will introduce generics and subtyping within the Java programming language. In Java, as in other programming languages, which are object-oriented type languages, hierarchies of types can be built. In Java, a subtype of a type X is either a type that extends X or a type that implements X, if X is an interface, directly or indirectly. Subtyping is transitive, meaning that if one type is a subtype of a second, and the second is a subtype of a third, then the first is a subtype of the third. If one type is a subtype of another, we also say that the second is a supertype of the first. Every reference type is a subtype of object. An object is a supertype of every reference type. The substitution principle tells us that whatever a value of one type is expected, one may provide a value of any subtype of that type. The substitution principle tells us also that a variable of a given type may be assigned a value of any subtype of that type, and a method with a parameter of a given type may be invoked with an argument of any subtype of that type. Let's use an example to illustrate these principles. First, let's make a generified list of type numbers. Here I'm creating my list. And it's a generified list of type number. Now I'm going to add values to my list. I'm going to add the number 5, which is an integer. I'm going to also add a double. And now I'm going to print the values of this list. So let's see the results of our list. Right click on your source, run as Java, numbers 5 and 7.1. Since we have a list or collection of numbers, we may add an integer or a double to it, because integer and double are subtypes of number. Now I want to ask the question, if I have a list of parameterized type integer, is it a subtype of a list of parameterized type number? Can we assign a value from a list of parameterized type integer to a variable of type list parameterized type number? Let's uncomment this code and find out. Here's a list of parameterized type integer. We add some integers to it, the values of 5 and 3. Now the question is, can I assign numbers list to point to the same list of integers, since integers is a subtype of number? When we try to do it, we see that it's not allowed. The problem is prevented by the compiler. The assignment is not allowed because list integer is not a subtype of list number, and the compiler reports that the fourth line is in error. It wouldn't make sense to add a double in this case to a list of integers as we do here. So here we see that a list parameterized by integer is not the same or a subtype of list parameterized number, nor is list number a subtype of list integer. We have a list integer is a subtype of itself, and we also have that list integer is a subtype of collection integer. When you want to accept not only a list with elements of a given type, but also a list with elements of any subtype of a given type, and want lists to behave more like arrays, but also a list with elements of any subtype of a given type, when you need this, we can use the wildcard construct. That will be covered in the next lesson. This concludes our discussion of generics and subtyping in Java.